The first one was from the Punch newspaper. Okay, to know. Okay, you made reference to the part of my speech that touched on the fact that some officers in our investigative units are compromising the integrity of our investigation department. It is not anything that is hidden. We have been receiving reports, complaints from members of the public about how some of their cases are handled by our detectives. And we have been responding to that professionally. As at today, the IG office has a special investigation unit where cases that are not handled properly in any of our investigation units are transferred to for professional touch. We have found out that some of our officers are not well grounded in the art of investigation. And that is why we are coming up with these measures to give them extra training and make them professional in their duties. So what we are doing is not new. It's something that has been ongoing, training and the training of our officers. And if you find any officer compromising the integrity of our investigation department, we'll deal with them accordingly. Then you also mentioned the issue of the massive arrest of foreigners and the fact that some policemen were also seen protecting these foreigners. Yes, it is true. The first PRO made that statement, and the policemen have been arrested. We found out that the policemen were on illegal duty. Nobody deployed them. They were not properly deployed for that assignment. That, again, does not remove the fact that we have to protect, we have to deploy for the protection of certain individuals in our society. There are VIPs that the police have to protect. There are big business men, employers of labor. There are individuals who have thousands of Nigerians in their organization. Such individuals deserve protection. Because if anything happens to them, you can imagine what will happen to their business. You can imagine the effect that's going to have on the unemployment rate in our country. So such individuals, we look at their position in the society. We look at what they contribute to the economy of the country, and we decide whether they need police protection or not. Some of these policemen you see attached to people who don't deserve police protection. They were not actually deployed formally by the police authority. Some of them were picked on the streets. And we are already addressing that. Recently, I issued out a signal that anywhere such happens, the policeman will be traced to where he comes from, and his commander or his supervisor will be held liable. We are going to have a reduction of such incidents, I'm very sure, with the measures that we have taken so far. The second question was from Princess. And your question was on meeting international standard on child-sensitive policing and whether sanctions will be given to officers who go contrary to our standard. Of course, the answer to that is obvious. We don't condole our officers who compromise our standard. We have internal disciplinary procedure that we subject them to. And meeting international standard is not something that is new in the police. We are committed to meeting international standard in our investigations. In fact, in the discharge of our policing duties in Nigeria, we have been showing commitment to it. So this one is just a reminder that it is important that we adhere to these standards. So it's not something new that we are introducing. Then you also want to know about private detective training, whether after training the private individuals in our detective colleges, whether they will be given police ranks. That is not so. Private detectives will remain private detectives, just as is done in other crimes. They are not going to be given any police rank after they are trained in our detective training schools. Then Idowu from Daily Trust mentioned the same issue of the arrested foreigners and the fact that the arrested persons had police escorts. I've explained that those police escorts were not formally deployed by the police authority, but they were found performing illegal duty, and they are already been. So those policemen who are found escorting the arrested foreigners are already in our custody. Their unit commanders, their commanders have denied them that they didn't send them. So they were performing illegal duties, and they will be dealt with accordingly. But it is also important for us to also note that sometimes we have situations where individuals will apply for escorts. We will investigate and find out that they really deserve the escorts, and they are given the escorts. But where such individuals misuse their escorts, we immediately withdraw them. There are cases like that too, that those who are found entitled to police escorts, sometimes misuse the escorts attached to them. Four is on the issue of minors. You wanted to know whether those minors are minors or they are adults. And you want to get a clearer picture of what really transpired in that case. There were 76 of them that were taken to court. I think about 4 or 5 of them were found to be minors. I don't know the exact number. The CP legal should be here. Some of them were found to be minors. I don't want to make any categorical statement on this issue again after the intervention of Mr. President. I just want to thank Mr. President for his fatherly intervention to give those children pardon. But I want to use this opportunity to correct an impression. The impression that those minors were arrested for participating in the End Bad Governance protest. That is a wrong narrative. It is not true. The police did not arrest anybody who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. We arrested criminals who took advantage of the protest to cause destruction to public infrastructure, to destroy private businesses, to commit arson, those ones cannot be regarded as protesters. The police did not arrest any protester. Even television stations showed where police gave escorts to protesters. We protected the protesters, but we arrested the criminals. So it's a wrong narrative. It is mischievous for anybody to push that narrative out that those 76 suspects that were arraigned in court were suspects, were people who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. We have said times and times that to protest is a right of citizens. But the Constitution that gives you the right to protest also gives you the right to respect the rights of others. So we don't go against people who come out to protest. We even protect them. But those who come out to commit crime are the ones who have confrontation with us. So please help us correct this impression. The suspects were not End Bad Governance protesters. They were criminals that were arrested during that period of protest. Some of these arrested persons were captured on video committing arson. They were captured on video looting people's businesses, destroying private businesses, destroying public infrastructure. And you want the police to look the other way and leave them, allow them to continue the destruction. No society will progress like that. Question 5 was from Sam. And you wanted to know when I mentioned in my speech that officers who compromise the integrity of our department, the investigation department, will be sanctioned. You wanted to know whether it is officers who are found wanting in the handling of the minors, the so-called minors that were arrested, that will be sanctioned, or I am making reference to officers generally who compromise the integrity of our department. That's exactly what I meant. Any officer who is found wanting, compromising the integrity of our investigation department, or tarnishing the image of our organization will always be sanctioned. But for those who handled the case of those criminals, suspects that were arraigned in court, they have not committed any offense other than to investigate those who are arrested and charge them to court. Whether the court they took them to is appropriate or not is for the court to decide. And in any case, I want to say that all of this drama is a learning curve for all of us. We have learned some lessons, and where we have made mistakes, we are ready to correct our mistakes. And that is all. Thank you.